On this episode of IROC Rehab, it's time to take the car to get a nice alignment. Once that's done, we bring it back to the shop, finish the interior, and get it ready for the final road test. Well, here we go. Time to take the car to get an alignment. Now, as you can see in here, it's pretty sparse. There's there's really not much of anything. We've got one door panel on. That rattling that you hear, that is insane. That's the exhaust. That we have to go back and kind of fiddle with and get rid of that because, well, that'll drive us crazy. The other part is, there's just, this just takes time. And, when you're trying to do a production like this and you're trying to get everything done in the span of, well, basically a week, you run into things, right? Especially on a 38-year-old car. You run into wiring issues, you run into fitment issues. Every part just needs to be massaged a little more than you think it does. So that's what we're doing now. One of the good parts is, with all the Hushmat that we put down, it's really going to quiet it down, especially once we do all the other sound deadening. We put the Hushmat foam down, that's going to make a big difference. It's very funny. Like I said, having grown up in the 80s with these cars, driving these cars now is just, they're so much fun. They're so good. I mean, even to this day, it's only got one seat. It really doesn't matter. It takes you back. The cool part is all the parts are now available to restore these things. And, having an opportunity to do one with Hemmings is just outstanding because, we don't think about these cars as collectible yet. I mean, some people do, but there are very few people that are actually doing a full resto on them. And that's pretty neat. It's kind of like an archaeological dig, right? Now, some things that you find in an old car are not that cool. It's like when you find a rat's nest in the back, which we did. We found two. When you find a fingernail or two, not really okay, but it's all part of the process. So the alignment shop is right here. We're gonna pull this baby in, get this thing aligned.
We're gonna have to fix that rattle.
Yeah. Okay, so just drove the Camaro for the first time with the new Glen Sauer modified short shifter, and let me tell you, transformation. I can't wait for the alignment to be done, get this thing on the road so I can really wheel this thing, because now I'm getting excited.
So here we have our old leather, which obviously isn't that bad, but it's definitely got some issues. And this is our new TMI AR2, which I really like. I think it looks much better. So we have to take this off, and it is all held on with these hog rings. Now you can take a couple of pliers and pry these out if you want, but I have a assortment of hog ring pliers over here. I am just going to cut these and peel them all out for the sake of time.
Here's one thing I bet you didn't know about recovering your own seats. Folks, it is not that hard. A good pair of snips to remove the original hog rings and then to reinstall the new ones when the covers are fitted. Just get a proper set of hog ring pliers, which can be found at any good online or brick and mortar hardware store. If you're still nervous, don't be, because trust me when I tell you, you can do this.
That's it. I'm happy with that. So this is the seat back for the rear seats. This one's a little bit different than the seat bottoms, as it has a zipper across the back. The only issue I see with this this mechanism has to come off, and it's got a little spring here, and I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work, so let's see if I can get this off. It's easy enough. There had to be some somewhere.
Right now what we're gonna do is, well, it's time to put the carpet in from TMI. So Terry and I are gonna drop it in, kind of mold it in, and then go from there. Okay, so the nice part about this carpet kit is that, as you can see, the IROC has kind of this panel, and there's actually a lift-up panel back here. And then this is extra storage that goes under that. The carpet is molded for that, and with any carpet, you know, it's gonna take better shape over time. But this is great. I mean, they did it. They molded it right in, as you can see. And once we put the rest of the inner body cladding on, like the other sides here, there's a little box, a little storage box that goes there. It'll seal this up, and then we'll have brand new carpet in the back. It'll look great.
All right, we're getting ready to make the holes that will clear the studs that are attached to the floor. Those studs mount the lid for the cargo area. We want to make sure the carpet's actually in the right place, and it's got some wrinkles in it still from shipping. So we just took these Hushmat boxes. They're nice and flat and wide, and they've got some weight in them because there's still Hushmat material in there. Put them down on the top, and it has flattened the carpet out, and we can tell because it actually now is fitting on the ends better than it was before.
Yeah.
Because once we make those holes, that's it, we've made them. So we want to make sure the carpet's right in the right spot before we make any permanent alterations. So I think we're ready.
Okay, let's do that. What we're gonna do now is we've marked off where the holes in the back of the carpet should be. And this is kind of an old school trick. If you have an old sacrificial screwdriver or whatnot, you can actually heat it up with a torch as opposed to trying to slice it open with a razor blade, and just take the hot end and just go chink, chink on each side. It'll burn right through the carpet, and it's super clean to do. And then you just slide your little pinholes through and you're good to go.
While Terry and I were laying in the rear carpet, Junior was still working on the IROC's rear seat back, which was proving to be stubborn. But like everything in an older car, just take your time and be patient. Do that and it'll come together nicely. Thankfully for us though, the TMI interior coverings are beautifully constructed and they fit perfectly.
There we go. I like it.
So this piece is actually a closure panel for the back. Now this was an option on a lot of Camaros. Basically it's a lockable trunk in the Camaro as opposed to when you open the hatch and it's just, you know, a lot of Camaros it was just see-through in the hatch, you could see everything. There's not a carpet piece for this because again it was an option. But as you can see, we cleaned the carpet up as best we could, but it's still a little pilly. If you want to kind of clean it up even more, you can take a wire brush, a light duty wire brush, and just kind of go through it. You can just kind of go through it and it will even it out. And then if you still have some big pieces, you know, some, you know, kind of curlies and nubs and whatever, you can take a razor blade and just kind of go around the edges, trim them off, and it just kind of cleans everything up. Again, because you're putting a whole new carpet in, if you have any original that's still there, clean it up the best you can. It'll really help to present the car nicely. Okay, so that's done.
The silencer Mega Bond foam, this is the 1/2 inch. They do have 3 thicknesses, I believe 1/8, 3/8, and 1/2 inch. And this basically replaces the denim jute that would have been underneath the carpet. If you know anything about denim jute, it absorbs moisture like crazy. This rubber foam does not absorb moisture like the denim jute does. So we're going to put some up here in the footwell, a little bit under the seat here. And well, honestly, since we have so much, I'm going to try and put it everywhere. So this is will decrease road noise. I believe they say by up to 70%. So this should make the car nice and quiet. I am going to pay close attention to not get this underneath the throttle pedal. So you don't want to build it up so much you don't get full throttle. Oh boy, be careful too, this is sticky.
After working on the Camaro for 10 to 12 hours per day for 5 days straight, we could finally see the light at the end of the tunnel, as the interior, along with everything else, was really coming together.
Golden earring, Beastie Boys. Oh, hell yeah. As it was going to the Meadowlands in '87 to see him in concert. And you know how I know? Because I was there and I saw this fucking car there.
Don't forget Bon Jovi.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Next up was the interior carpet, and like everything else provided by TMI, it was well designed and molded to the contours of the IROC's floor, which made the install go that much quicker.
I have to say, this carpet is much nicer than most, that it's actually finished. Most carpet kits that you get,
Rough edged.
they're rough edge and there's so much trimming. This one you don't have to trim.
Yet.
No, but this is impressive.
That's for the other side.
One more, guys, like original build.
That's for that side.
How can you tell?
The mouse ate it.
Oh, yep.
Oh, they
You, sir, are correct. They actually weren't that difficult to install, really. The bottoms were worse than the top.
That looks really good, Jesus.
She'll fit.
With the rear seat backs and the lowers installed, it was time to button everything else up. That meant reinstalling the sill plates, fitting and gluing the new carpet to the IROC center console, and then reinstalling it back into the car after the glue had dried and cured for the better part of 20 minutes.
Ooh, nailed it. Nailed it.
How nice is that now with that shifter like that?
Yeah.
Right?
As you can see, our brand new TMI interior looks amazing, but we're not done yet. On the next episode of IROC Rehab, we finally take the IROC out for a proper road test.